Yes guys, how are we doing, and welcome back to another YouTube video. So in today's video I'm going to go through my full training routine, which follows last week's video where I talked about my transition in my training. I'm going to be going over my full 6-day training split, but if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So today's session I'm going to go through an upper body session. I'm going to do a walkthrough video just like last week as well, and then later in today's video I'm going to go through my training split in more detail. I'm going to talk all about why I designed it like this, the reasons behind it. Hopefully you can take some value from today's YouTube video so you're able to design the correct training split for your particular fitness goal. Just going to go through a few gym bag essentials. Here we have the straps. I don't actually use these ones or these ones. I actually use these Cobra grips for like deadlifts and RDLs. Bring your own handles. You can literally get these for like £5 off eBay or Amazon. Water. The most important part, which is a logbook, track your lifts on a weekly basis, and also anti-back. So I'm going to go straight into today's workout, which is the upper session, which I said earlier. At the moment, what I'm loving with my training style is I'm starting with some strength-based work, whether that's overhead press, bench press, squats, or anything like that. I'm really trying to work with these movements. That being said, when you go into these exercises, you've got to make sure that you've warmed up correctly. Otherwise, not only from an injury risk point of view, but also you're not going to get the most out of the movement. So a few warm-up sets there. Straight into my first working set. This is 65 kilos for 3 reps. First time touching this weight since being back in the gym. Went for the 4th, but it did not happen. So I've got 2 sets of 4 to 6. That was the first one. And this is the second one. This is last week's weight, moving a lot more nicely than last week, and this is 60 kilos for 4. I think I went for a 5th one, and again, like I couldn't even lift it up. Straight into the second exercise, which is a dumbbell incline chest press. Absolutely loving this movement. It's actually feeling nicer since gyms have opened than before. I had a slight shoulder impingement, and you can see the slight imbalance there at the moment. But it's feeling so much better now. 2 sets of 8 to 12, and that's how I like to structure the session. So I'm doing some strength work, you'll see the chest press, you'll see the next movement again, and then we'll go into some EMOMs. So third movement of the session, and that is a seated row, working on some back thickness. Again, 2 sets of 8 to 12. So as you can probably see, guys, the first 3 movements is very strength based, a little bit of hypertrophy in there as well. Just focus on those movements, getting the contraction. So kind of what I said in last week's YouTube video, you know, I'm not completely abolishing everything that I've learned up until this point. I still want that strength, I still want that kind of aesthetics and muscle growth as well. Cool, so let's start the EMOMs. This is an 8-minute EMOM, which stands for every minute on the minute. 2 different exercises here. The first exercise is chin-ups for 10 repetitions, I think. They're very, very poor chin-ups because the handles that I was using here are just slightly too low for myself, so I had to kind of hang down, which was less than ideal. It's actually a lot harder. Moved on to the ones next to it after. So that's 10 repetitions. You rest for the rest of the minute, and then you go straight into the second exercise, and this is 20 bent over rows. These are with 16 kilo kettlebells. What you find with EMOMs, guys, is this is 8-minute ones. It'll be 4 rounds in each. It starts off like that was my first round, really easy, and then it really kind of hits home, and you've got to power through, and it's a complete mental game. Cool, let's go into the second EMOM. This is another 8-minute kind of workout. 2 different exercises. The first one is a barbell push press. That's 30 kilos in total. Again, as you can see, this is absolutely flying because this is my first round doing it. As it goes on, it's a lot more difficult, and that's when fatigue really breaks up. When you do workouts like this, obviously this one I pretty much went flat out, but when I did the next kind of 20, I broke the reps down to like 5, 5, 5, 5, just to give myself a little bit of rest. And you've got to think a little bit more tactical than just kind of going all out. The second exercise, as you can see here, is a plate loaded push-up. Plate load, that makes no sense still. Weighted push-up, just 10 reps. Again, 10 reps seems really easy. As soon as you get into the second or the third or the fourth one, it's really difficult. Finishing off with 2 exercises. This is a superset. This is a dumbbell overhead tricep extension. Absolutely love this movement for the triceps. Superset with dumbbell curls. I'm doing 2 sets of 8 to 10 on this one, just getting a little bit more isolation with these particular muscle groups. And I think that's enough bicep curls for today. So yeah, let's go straight into today's post-workout food. Okay, cool. So first meal just went in: frozen cherries, whey protein, 2 bits of bread, honey, jam, cocoa snaps and milk as well. Macros are going to be on the screen, and now it's the perfect post-workout food. The last few months I've actually been implementing a little bit of fasting, and I'm going to talk about fasting and other nutritional habits that I've started doing over the last kind of few months in next week's video, because next week's video is going to be a full food shop. I'm now off to do some work for my online team, and then I'm going to sit down later this afternoon and talk everything training wise. Okay, cool. Let me go straight into my training routine. I'm going to talk all about what I'm doing right now and the reasons behind this. First things first though, guys, this is my training split. This training split has been designed for my goals, and it fits into my lifestyle and when I can train. So just be mindful when you're watching this video and you're looking at designing your own kind of training routine, your training split as well, that this is specific to myself. So just make sure when you are doing it for you, it fits in with yourself. Right now, I'm actually training 6 days a week, and this is the first time since 2018 that I've been training 6 times a week. I'm a big fan of rest days. I normally have only been training sort of 4 or 5 days a week, allowing for that rest and recovery. But the reason that I'm training for 6 days is because one of those days is actually a kind of conditioning day where I'm trying to improve my aerobic performance. And it's probably less, well, it's very minimal weight focused. So the 6 days that I train, Monday is a lower day, Tuesday is an upper, Wednesday, which you would have seen in last week's video, is a lower day, but it's hip hinge focused. Thursday, which is today, and just saw in today's video, it's an upper based workout. Friday is my conditioning work, and then Saturday is my full body session, and then Sunday I have as a rest day. So I'm basically hitting every single muscle group at least 3 times. I put the 6th day in there for a couple of reasons, just because I believe that I can monitor my recovery, and I know if I'm really not feeling like I can train, then of course I'm not going to. I know my body, but I really want to kind of push the limits. I want to push the boundaries because I believe I can. And also from a full body workout, it just adds that little bit of volume in there because I'm doing lower, upper, conditioning day, and then I'm just putting even more volume into the working week. When you look at the individual sessions, this is what I'm currently doing, and of course some of it might change week to week, and I'll explain why. So the starting part of the session is all about the strength. So deadlifts, bench press, squats, those movements are staple. That is what I'm going to be starting with, and really trying to bring those movements up. I'm not going to be doing any more reps than kind of like 8. It's going to be at least kind of 4 today. In today's video, you'd have seen 3 reps and not quite got the 4th. But it's mainly based kind of 4 to 8 reps. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm still trying to just bring up those movements. At the moment, deadlifting, you know, I haven't even got 3 plates per side. Same with squats, you know, bench press, you know, still just shy of 100. So those movements for me still have a long way to go. Straight after that, that is when I go into kind of more strength-based work, I guess, but maybe more towards the hypertrophy where we're doing the sort of 8 to 12 reps. So this would be like a dumbbell incline chest press, seated row, as you saw today. From other sessions, dumbbell RDLs, bent over rows. So still really big movements, still getting a lot out of those exercises, which follows really nicely after the strength work. In total, you know, this is probably about 6 or 7 sets that I would have done before I get into the really high intensity work with all the EMOMs that I've been doing. And I feel like this is just enough, you know. I am still kind of fatigued at this point, but it's not too detrimental to really kind of push on with my performance for the rest of the session, but it's still enough to create that kind of demand that you want when you're looking for muscle growth. So let's go straight into the high intensity work. So let me take today's session, for example. I did 2 EMOMs every minute on the minute. So you can do these and you can design them any way you want, which is the most incredible thing about it. Where you can, you know, you could do it for 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes. You could do a whole session EMOMs, picking certain exercises, completing the reps in that minute, having the rest of the minute to rest, and then once that 1 minute hits, you go straight onto the next exercise. This is physically really, really demanding. I used to think that I trained really hard before I did an EMOM. Of course, I'm a little bit fatigued from the start of the session, but nevertheless, you know, just trying to do chin-ups, you know, basically like 4 sets of 10, but because you've got the exercises next to it and you've got minimal rest, you know, your body is completely failing. So yes, from a physical point of view, you have to power through, but from a mindset as well, your body is just telling you just to stop. You're like, okay, you've done now. You're used to a minute and a half rest, but you're gonna have to power through. Week on week now that I'm seeing since I've been in the gym, you know, performance is increasing, my endurance is getting better, my strength is getting better, and overall, you know, going towards my overall goal of being more of an athlete, you know, I'm definitely heading there. Throughout the week, you know, the EMOMs will change. Some days it might be like a 8 minute like today, or another day it'll be like 12 minutes. Some of the workouts and the exercises that I choose in the EMOM will change week to week based on that particular session and that particular goal. And like I said, that's the beauty of it. You know, you don't have to go completely by the book. So I would highly suggest these to anyone that you know, find some workouts or some routines like boring, you're doing the same thing every single week. You know, if you put together a really effective EMOM in the session for yourself, you know, you can get a lot out of that movement and really kind of enjoy it and not feel like, oh, I'm doing the same thing as I was last week. You know, you can design it any way that you want to. And after the EMOMs, if I feel like I have the energy, I focus on isolation work. So the reason I do this is certain muscle groups or certain areas that I feel just need a little bit more attention, whether it's some bicep curls or additional few sets of hamstrings, calves, can't forget about the calves. I just kind of focus on them for 2 or 3 sets. Maybe, you know, I include a drop set, a muscle round, a rest pause. So I'm still keeping that intensity really, really high. When it comes to a conditioning day, again, it's very similar to an EMOM. You know, there's no set routine. At the moment, just where I'm at the beginning, I'll just purely focus on some EMOMs where I'll do like kind of 2 exercises. So for example, last week I was doing 15 slams with a slam ball or in the minute, and then I was doing like 200 meters on the row machine, doing that for like 12 minutes or so. So it was absolutely brutal. Trying to have a short rest, maybe 2 or 3 minutes before going on to the next one. So it's only kind of like half an hour. But each week what I'm trying to look at doing is just pushing that up including either additional minutes or just a longer session. So it's absolutely brutal. So that is my current training routine. I hope I've explained everything okay in regards to the 6 sessions and how I kind of structure each workout. There's a lot of movements that I want to eventually be able to move on to, but at the moment I've got a really nice balance with some movements that I've been accustomed to before, some basic exercises and some new ones as well. Just trying to overall, improve my performance. Of course, if you do want some workout inspiration, go ahead and check out my Instagram. I post, I think it's every other day, one of my workouts or just general kind of workout ideas. So go ahead and check that out. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.